Sorry. I was told to do that by our producer.
Nathan, calm down.
I know. We need to calm
Stop
down.
being so emotional. I don't know what to do when
With
men
my male emotion.
when men get hysterical like this.
Oh man, should we actually be in leadership is the question, you know?
Look, we're delightful. We're delightful.
Is it still Women's Month, International Women's Month?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah. See, that's right. At this point, give it to them. You know, the whole you can have. I mean, not that I have the power to just give it.
Have you
over.
Have you seen the TikTok thing where she's like, "Boys can do it"?
Yeah.
Then I was like, "Boys can do it." That's how I feel about government right now.
Yeah. Life. I hope my daughter feels that way about it too. Welcome everyone to the latest episode of Sass and the Beard. We are so excited that you have decided to kind of hang out with us for the next however long we have here. It is a very unprepared episode.
You made that
of
sound like
Sass
we're about
and the
to
Beard
die.
this week.
He's like, however long we have left on this earth.
We want to talk eclipse right this week, but also I think a good thing, Kristin, we can talk about like how our lives have been lately.
I love that.
Yeah.
My life has been good and stressful. I feel like that's always my life is
For
stressful,
sure, yeah.
right? You know, I've been in this kind of ongoing, I don't want to call it a battle, like a ongoing disagreement
Right.
with the Secretary of State's office about electronic signatures on voter registration forms.
We talked about it last week.
We
Yeah.
did, and I was disappointed to hear that the Polk County clerk has said that they're not willing to get on board with the online signatures, even though they're legally valid. So that was a hard thing to see because I feel like Polk County is a little further along than that. But you know, but otherwise, I'm like really good. My oldest kid moved to South Texas at the beginning of the year,
All right.
and is back now for spring break just to like spend time. So I'm loving it. I got to off work. Like I'm here for it because I had reached that level of stress in my work where I was like, fair warning, I'm just going to cry easily. Like everything will make me cry. Like that's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
People will be like, you're doing a great job. And I'm like, oh my
Thank
God.
you for the compliment. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. So yeah, I've been good. How you been?
I've been really good. The emotions are high in my household because my son just turned 5, which is a big deal because, like, in a couple of months, he's going to go to kindergarten.
That's crazy.
And we'll no longer be paying for daycare. So I will be crying for different reasons, and my wife will be crying because her baby is no longer her baby anymore.
Isn't that wild? I remember when we were working together on a campaign and you were like, listen, I have to tell you something. Amanda's pregnant.
Yeah.
And now this kid's going to kindergarten.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like it was literally yesterday.
I know. Like, he's a COVID baby. Like, he was
Precious.
Raised in COVID. And he's a lot of fun. He's my little buddy.
Oh my gosh, he's the best.
Yeah, he's beautiful
Both
too.
of your
So
kids.
it's
Both
just
your
like,
kids are just
yeah, both
ridiculous.
of them are very good. And so like
They take after Amanda, thank God.
Yes, thank goodness.
Thank
now
God.
that they're older, they both have these activities, and so like literally every night of the week we are here or there, or one parent's going with one kid and one parent's going with the other kid. So it's a lot of fun.
I have a very different experience because I'm on that work from home life and I have a teenager. So literally I put on real pants today and I was like, oh, damn, girl.
It's about to get serious.
I was like, girl, look, maybe these fast food meals are having more of an impact than you thought.
Yeah, they're sitting on the couch working while
Because
snacking.
I've been in stretchy pants. I put something on with like a real waistband and I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I have been deluding myself just a tiny bit.
Well, and what I love about like this week is spring break, and so like I wake up and I'll go to work, but my wife and kids get to stay home because she's a teacher, and they're spending time together, enjoying it. It's like a prelude to summer, which will be. Before we know it, it'll be here.
God, I can't believe it. I know it was just winter Christmas break.
Yeah.
Like a week ago. How did this happen?
Yeah, well, and then, with our subject about the eclipse, that people like that is literally just around the corner. So much so that we are starting to see, super cool things from
I went
Dog Ear and Retro.
Yeah, Retro Roast, Dog Ear Books. I went and got some coffee earlier. I'm going to be jazzed all night. I need to do my taxes. This is going to be great. But also, while I was there, saw these that are like 3D printed from a local person. They have, one of the little lenses inside where you can like look, from out. Like I just thought it was so cool. And it's like Dog Ear Books Retro Roast, and on the back it says total solar eclipse 1:52 p.m. April 8th, 2024, which is good because I had no idea what time I needed to be outside.
Right.
I just knew it was happening. I literally had no idea
Like
what time.
on the second Monday of April, but like when is
right.
it?
I was just going to be like, when does it start to look a little dark out? And then be like, whoop, get out there. So anyways, these are really cool. These are $5. They're locally made, and they have like the ISO number and everything. But yeah, I thought these were cool because they have kind of a commemorative thing on the back. You can see, I don't know. Anyways,
it's like a challenge coin almost too. Like those are a big deal. Those, these like hobbyists and
I don't know anything
people
about
that do like geocaching and stuff like that. The challenge coins, they're about that size, and they're commemorative items. So,
are these like for the sports ball?
No, that's totally. This is not has nothing to do with sports ball.
Oh,
this is. I guess you would call it nerd collection,
like
things.
nature nerd ball. I don't know.
Science.
That sounds less hot.
So there's a lot of places that have like glasses as well. We're selling glasses at Joshua's Fine Jewelry. They're like $2. We have a lot of like fun, inspiring eclipse items that you could purchase. I know there's a ton of entrepreneurs and small businesses that are
so cute,
really just like gearing up for the eclipse, and it's exciting.
But you know what you don't have, and that is a golden ass.
And you need one. I wonder.
And you do need one.
What if she because like the moon?
Isn't that cute? It'd be like a little golden moon with a golden ass. I love it. That's so cute. But the Golden Ass Plant Parlor, they've always been such good sponsors of us.
Yes.
And they have other things besides golden asses.
Yes, they have a whole lot of good things.
But it is literally my favorite thing. And now they're just like right here downtown. I'm so excited to know that they're right here now. We need to do a show from
we
Plant
should
Parlor
like
soon.
this like sit in like the nature scape that is Plant Parlor.
So that we can like talk about something besides the golden ass.
Right.
Although it
be
will
like,
always
look
be.
at this planter that they have.
Yeah.
So check out Plant Parlor. They've been a great sponsor of ours for a long time now. So we are very happy that they are a part of our show.
For sure.
So, Kristin, tell me why in a couple of weeks I should not go out and buy all of the ingredients for bread and milk sandwiches.
I mean, I feel like maybe that's the vibe, right? Like, I don't know. We said this is kind of like the, okay, everybody calm down episode. You said something a few weeks ago that I thought was really a good way to view this is like expecting that this will be like if Arkansas Tech and Russellville High School like had graduation and prom on the same day.
Yeah.
And that lasted for like 3 days. Right. It is going to be a lot of traffic.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot more people here. But I have heard some people be like, oh my God, they're going to buy up all the groceries and there'll be no food and no gas. And like, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a little overblown. Like,
for sure.
I do think it's going to be busy. Like, I'm not planning to leave my house, but
there are going to be some hard moments. Like, I don't want to like just downplay the situation for the community because people should be prepared for like what to expect. But the biggest issue, honestly, is that we only kind of know what to expect. You know what I mean? Like if it rains, if it's cold, if there's some cloud cover, if there's, a big like hot springs and other places in our state that are close to totality but are preparing big events too. And so like there is an expectation of around 100,000 additional people in our area. but it could be 60,000 people and it could be 120,000 people.
Right.
But we don't know exactly what it will be until, honestly, the day of. That's really when the largest amount of people are going to be here, is that Sunday night, Monday morning is when everybody's going to get here.
You should mention that the hotels are not full.
Really?
Oh, hey.
Not
Yeah.
by a long shot.
So, yeah.
How is that real?
Probably because they're charging too much money for their...
For that trade-off. So just tell people to check the hotels here.
Oh, yeah. Check
Yeah.
the hotels in Russellville.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are rooms available.
Rooms available in hotels in our area. Definitely check that out if you are traveling. For the
I have a
eclipse.
very expensive spot available in my yard. It's not advertised. It's really exclusive. But it is available.
Well, and
preferably only if you're local. Like
like
just-
if you want to rent your space,
like
but
if you
need a
just want
place
to
to
come and
camp out.
cook out with me, but then go home.
Well, and honestly, the biggest issue that I think like public officials and municipal, like the city and like official folks are really concerned with are when it's over.
Right.
Like up until then, all the groups that provide gas and groceries are in preparation. They will have enough. They're all planning on having extra. I've talked to several like gas company, like the fuel companies, and they've all been like, yeah, we're ready. We're not going to run out of gas, So, and talk to somebody that works at a grocery store and be like, yeah, we're going to be ready. So, honestly, I'm not worried too much about that kind of stuff.
Are they planning though? Like I know that milk and bread sandwiches are the meal of choice for snow days. But does that change with an eclipse? Is it is it
what would-
Doritos and Mountain Dew? Like what is
that's
the
what I'm gonna be
what is the
having.
meal of choice? I don't know. I'll be having girl dinner.
The redneck communion is what I'm going to be having.
Exactly. I will
Doritos and Mountain Dew.
I will be having girl dinner and staying to myself, and I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah.
There's a ton of resources available for those of you who want to know, like, if you have family coming into town and you want to know, like, what's going on for that weekend. The Chamber of Commerce has a website. The Main Street Russellville has postings on their website and Facebook pages about like what's upcoming. They're setting a schedule. They're getting ads, and there's a whole lot of stuff that's going to be showing up in the next couple of weeks about like what's there going to be to do, for people to plan their trip
Apparently,
here.
you can get married. That is a big thing to do. If they're not sure what to do, should I just give them your cell phone number?
Well,
Because I'm glad to do that.
it is
Y'all just message our
publicly
inbox.
available.
I'm glad to give out Nathan's cell phone number.
but please don't, because
Party
I
at his house. It's gonna
have
be great.
not been involved in all of the meetings. One of the cool things that I saw, though, is the city's AMP director spent some time with NASA this past week.
That's so cool.
Because NASA's official live eclipse broadcast is going to be in Russellville, which I think is insane. Like,
It's so cool.
it's like, big news crew coming here for something like, for once, Russellville won't be in the news for something bad. We're going to be in the news for something great.
It won't be about a casino or any drama.
We are one of the top 10 places in the country to see the eclipse. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Of course we are. And look, I need we have an Eclipse Entertainment District now.
Yes.
To appreciate
we
it.
do. Recently,
And now finding out that it's at 1:52 p.m., that's perfectly fine time.
5 o'clock somewhere.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And an eclipse makes it different, right? Like that counts. It gets dark, it's suddenly night.
Oh, okay. Just check this out. These are all the confirmed media outlets that are coming to the city of Russellville. Fake news and regular news, like CBS News, like not just local, but national CBS News. Our local station KTHV from Little Rock, Fun in Arkansas.
Oh, I know about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kurt Christensen Photography, the Weather Channel, the Johnson County Graphic. CNN is sending 2 different teams. NBC, Signal Media of Arkansas, it's radio. Arkansas Tourism, BVK Images, the Washington Post, going to be here, Dakota Flynn News, ABC, and PBS.
I'm sorry, why isn't
PBS.
Sass and the Beard on that list of extremely official media outlets?
We are not confirmed media outlets.
Because I'm going to be at home, not participating.
Are we supposed to send in an application?
I know. Like, we're in confirm because I don't want to attend.
Yeah.
That's why, because I don't.
You don't want to be in the middle of all the people.
Like, all of the people who are
I'll
like,
handle all of you. Handle all the legal stuff. I'll handle all the Eclipse stuff.
I
There
love
we go.
that. And the people stuff. And the, like, why can't you make her stop saying that stuff?
And apparently you're gonna go to hell if you do this or that thing stuff.
God, yes.
So the eclipse is a big deal, but
It is.
let's not freak out, people.
Let's not freak out.
gonna
But
be
if you
okay.
have other things you're freaking out about, or if you have questions about it, drop it in the chat because we don't really have a great plan for this episode. Normally, we like come in with topics and we have like a marker board, like all like really. I make it sound much more official. It's just like, but
It's a storyboard of our show.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is, Nathan.
We do production things. Like we have legit topics that we talk about, and we don't just come in and fly by the seat of our pants.
I
every
believe
week.
you.
But this week,
We're
we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants.
it's spring break vibes.
Yeah, it's spring break vibes.
And, yes, and so did you can't see it. I'll tell you. So Autumn asked, would love to know your opinion on the 3 young ladies who won state in wrestling at Russellville School District, but the district won't pay for their championship rings because the entire team, in parentheses, boys and girls, didn't win state titles. These 3 young ladies are doing a fundraiser to get their rings. What do you think about that, Nathan? I don't know anything about it,
I saw that they had won the state championship.
which is awesome.
I know that there is a female from the wrestling team that is one of our youth council members, and I think that's super
Awesome.
cool. You know, I don't know enough to be able to make a statement on that as far as like a judgment call. Like, yeah, the school I think would be great if they could provide. This is a great achievement. Like, let's celebrate that. Let's provide some help. You know, but here's my question: if the football team wins a state championship, does the school pay for their rings?
That is a thing, yeah.
And if that happens, then yes, they should provide it for regardless.
Agree.
When the soccer team won the national or the state championship last year, did they purchase rings for them? You know, if that's the way that it works, then I think that the wrestling team should get, you know, they won in individual events, but they're part of a team. Like wrestling is an individual. Like it's not like they're having WCW tag team events where they're 2-on-2. You know, like it is an individual sport.
Well, I will say, Autumn, I don't know enough about it, but I will say drop the link to the fundraiser in the chat here.
Sweet.
So that folks
do what
can
we
support
can,
it.
yeah.
You know, we'll do what we can. Want to support that because that is awesome. And, you know, not everybody can afford those rings.
sure.
But, like,
Yeah.
But everybody should be able to get one, right?
Yeah.
Like, we should be able to provide that.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this too. But yes, I agree
Yeah.
with.
And
whatever
April
way
said
we can
normally
help.
the
Yeah.
booster clubs head that up. And
Gotcha.
so I just don't know the situation on the booster club for like wrestling versus like look, y'all,
Is there a
I'm-
percentage
I'm
of
so not-
money that each program gets, and they've, you know, like
Yeah.
I know with some of the like academic extracurriculars, like those individuals have to raise their own funds to go on trips and to do certain things. But they still have some sponsored, like the school will pay for a bus driver or whatever, you know. So I don't know. It's all budgetary, I would imagine. They decide at the beginning of the year, this is what we're going to spend it on.
Yeah.
But you know, $1,000 for 3 rings. Let's just say, off the top of my head, you know, 3 state championship rings to Russellville School District is a
Small amount of money.
small amount of money.
But I do understand that then, like, you set
yeah.
yourselves up for the potential that, like, well, what if the football team wins
Right.
and we have to buy it for
Yes.
all these
Yes.
kids? Like, that does become more, you know, so, like, I do see where it needs to be fair, but also you don't want kids to miss out just
No,
because they're not
definitely
part
not.
of, like, a mainstream sport.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely will love to have them send us the link. We'll be glad to share it.
Yeah, if
try
they're
to help.
doing a fundraiser thing,
It's
let's be a
so
part
cool.
of that. Yeah.
I love seeing where girls like get involved in kind of non-traditional sports. When I was in 7th grade, I wanted to play football. And not because I give two shits about football or know anything about it or had ever played football in my life, but mostly just because they said girls weren't allowed to, and that offended me. And so I was like, I'm a play.
Dang sure
I'm
gonna do it.
I'm a play.
Yeah.
Thank God nobody let me. But I mean, not because girls shouldn't play, but because
because you
I
shouldn't. Yeah.
personally shouldn't play. And so yes, no, I love stuff like this where, you know,
I love that we're living in a world where some of these things are less and less an issue. They still are an issue, and that can be frustrating. Like, I know that, like, in my kids' generation, hopefully it will be even less. You know, like, my son's favorite color is purple. Like, and he, you know, wants his sister to do makeup on him. You know what I mean? Like, but I've never met more of a what you would call traditionally masculine boy. Like everything's a weapon. This dude collects sticks that looks like swords. You know, like sword, gun. Like he finds a stick and wants to bring it home when he's got 87 on the back porch. And he knows them all, like where they, you know, what part of his arsenal
this
they
is
are.
Kevin.
Yeah,
and I'm about to go to war.
Yeah, exactly. But he will also do it with unicorn makeup on his face that his sister did. But
I love that.
So like I'm
Like
okay.
The
with,
rules are made up.
Yes, that's right. So another cool thing that has happened in our area, Pope County Library System, they have a homeschool robotics team.
I saw that's so exciting.
And they won a spot at the VEX World Championships.
Robotics competition.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like
it's like a homeschool association through the Pope County Library, and they won. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Man, look, we got some smart young people.
We do. Talented.
Some really leaders.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel good about it. I feel good about the next generation.
The future of our community is going to be great. You know, last year, my wife just recently, over the last couple of years, has been a speech and debate coach at the high school. Like you have head coach and she's assistant coach, and like they have students that went to Harvard and Yale. And
I'm not that sporty, but I understand head coach and assistant coach.
Yeah,
like I got that.
Right,
part.
you got that.
You didn't have to explain it.
Well, I just want you to. I know you're not a sports ball person, but.
No, but they do. Impressive, super impressive. I mean, we do talk a lot about like government stuff that can be really frustrating and challenging, but our school district really is doing some amazing things. Our community's doing some amazing things.
You are doing amazing things.
I try.
You got asked to speak. I don't know if we can say it. Like, is it okay to say?
I guess so.
You got asked to speak a pretty highly exclusive.
Look, I got asked to speak at an event for like young women leaders in high school who are like doing all the things right, right?
Yeah.
And listen,
you didn't get asked to be a part of that when you were in
I would
high
have
school.
never been invited to be a part of that in high school. So like the fact that like now I'm being like asked to talk to these girls, I just would be like, oh, they would have never let me in here.
But
it is exciting.
You've made enough good trouble that they're like, maybe we should ask.
I know. I want to talk
to these
about
women.
yes, like
young
making
women.
good trouble is what's up. It's where it's at. I want to talk about disruptive leadership. So Kim posted in here, there will be a public information meeting about cryptocurrency mining operations this coming Saturday at 2:00 at Oak Grove Free Will Baptist Church. I know that some of our local legislators have been involved with that, like Matt Duffield, Stan Berry. Some of our local lawmakers have been involved because this is something around the state that's happening with the state law.
Yes.
And so this is a good thing if you are, wanting more information about understanding cryptocurrency mining and how it impacts like local infrastructure, the noise, the whole thing. Like if you just want a better understanding of what's going on, because like, I mean, there's a part of me that gets it, but then there's a part of me that's like, this isn't real, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Because it's all digital, like cryptocurrency sounds like,
this is all made up,
sounds
right?
like a rad, alternative band from the, early 2000s.
It really does.
Yeah.
Isn't it all called like Dogecoin?
Yeah. No, or, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people just make up names of coins, and then after they go bankrupt, they just start another one.
I need to start selling like SAS coins. And they'll be like, doesn't that say Beard's ass? Like, yeah.
Just buy it.
Just buy it. Just buy
Well,
it.
apparently the crypto farms, they use up a lot of electricity. They make a lot of noise. And in an area like Moreland, I think like out the what eastern part of Polk County. I'm trying to think of what direction it is. That's, there is a crypto farm going in, and like people are concerned about it. And this is Act 851. I think that's the correct number. Correct us if we're wrong, Kim. There's
So many.
was passed by the state, which basically lowers some standards and allows some of these places to be put up.
Well, it prevents local government from like regulating it in a way
Yes.
beyond the state, which is just like this form of preemption that has been kind of more and more where preemption is where a state government or a government body takes power away from the government body below it, right? So like the federal government taking it away from the state taking away from local government, like these are all forms of preemption. And it blows my mind because we see this and we hear these people like, I don't know, maybe I don't even really hear it anymore, but used to we heard this like small government conversation, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, small government is local government, right? But then we have these like preemptive issues where they take power away from local government and say, you can't regulate crypto mining in your own community. You can't regulate housing standards beyond this point. You can't, require non-discrimination laws, like things like this, where they really want to take away power from the local government. But this is another one of those issues, and I'm glad to see some of our local lawmakers that are investing in it early and getting really informed to try to come in and make some changes in the next legislative session because we're headed towards that.
Yeah.
2025.
Yes.
It's going to be terrible.
Well, and this has also provided some people concerned with Russellville specific. There is a crypto mining facility in Russellville in the industrial park, which is the right permitted place for it to be. There was a smaller, I don't know if they're the same firm, but someone was trying to run one out of their home. And then the city, this was a couple of years ago, and the city was like, you can't do that. Like, you can't run this out of your garage. Like, you will destroy whatever the electrical grid is.
Like,
in
all
your
your neighbors
neighborhood.
hate
You
you.
cannot. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. So I live over in Dardanelle, kind of moving off of crypto, but like other local issues. Does Russellville have this? Because I don't even know. I know we've talked a lot about waste management in the past and how everybody is hating on waste management lately. But in Dardanelle, on spring break, every year, we have this thing where like you can put your big junk out by the road.
We have 2 large trash pickups, one in the spring and one in the fall. Yeah.
Well, we only have one.
You only have one? Okay.
And I was pretty proud of ours, but now I feel like it's not that exciting.
No, it's a great thing. Yeah. Now they have ours. There are some restrictions like
you can't do like tires,
right,
stuff like that, yeah.
Or some construction materials like
you can't put your meth lab out by the road.
Yeah, it's like I got all this bleach left over from no.
Anybody know what a Sudafed? I don't know.
No, they be keeping that, I'm sure.
Right, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. But okay, well, I knew that like Dardanelle always has it on spring break every year. I look forward to it, and then I don't put my stuff up by the road, and then a week later, I'm like,
you're like, oh,
damn it.
I shouldn't have missed that. Yeah.
But I didn't know if Russellville had the same.
Yeah.
Same.
And I'll tell you the great thing about the large pickup is that half the time your stuff doesn't get picked up by the trash company. It gets picked up by other people who are like, why are they throwing that away?
Look, don't judge me when I'm driving through Dardanelle right now looking at everybody's
that
yard.
couch is just fine.
I put a cat tower out, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, I'm driving around scoping it. I'm like, oh, well, look at that chair. Can I fit that in my car? That looks good.
Because I've been in some neighborhoods like their throwaways are. That's what I have
nicer
normally.
than my furniture, right? So that's good. Well, okay, so we did look at Court Connect earlier because, not because it's my favorite form of entertainment, but because
apparently it is.
what's not to love, but because we were checking on, we talked about this previously, that Jordan Sowers, Justice of the Peace, Who's currently in office, just won her primary,
Yes.
and is, doesn't have a general election opponent as far as I know. There had been a challenge in court about her residency, whether she actually resides in her district, and there had been an argument to dismiss that
Right.
case. And this was kind of before the primary election. Well, there was a judgment issued that did not dismiss the case, so the case is still moving forward.
For sure.
So, we don't know how that'll play out yet, but
What are some possible ways that could play out, though?
well, so it could play out where, she's affirmed on her residency, everything's fine, no big deal. The
Yeah.
other way it plays out is say they were to say she's not a resident,
Gotcha.
right? In that case, it's a little different than like how city council is set up, right? If a seat becomes vacant in city council, then the
The
city
appoint.
council handles
Yeah.
the appointment.
Mhm.
For a quorum court appointment, the governor makes that appointment. Usually in conversation with like the county judge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is an appointment by the governor. And so that would be the result if that the seat were to be declared vacant.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure, on timing wise, like there is, I think, a point. Sometimes it's if it's at a certain point in the thing, there has to be
there has to be an election,
right?
Yeah.
And if it's not, then but I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if you actually see that overturned, even though I have my personal opinion about whether or not.
Well, and weirder things have happened,
But
right?
Yeah, but where the law falls, I think she's probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, obviously, but we'll find out apparently because they're not going to dismiss it. Other thing going on is starting this coming Tuesday, less than a week away. Early voting for the runoff
That's
elections.
right. Yeah.
There's
For school board.
Yeah, I think there's another runoff for like a constable
There
or
was,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you're looking at like the state Supreme Court races that go to a runoff, those won't be till November. But we will have, so it starts next week on Tuesday, which is the
Be the 26th.
26th.
Mm-hmm.
Then election day is April 2nd. So make sure folks get out and vote. This is anybody who's in Russellville School District, who resides in Russellville School District and is a registered voter. Doesn't matter if you voted Democrat or Republican in the primary, or if you did not vote, that's okay. You can still vote in this. These elections typically have less than a 5% turnout rate.
Yeah.
They are exceptionally low. And often the person who came out of the first election in the lead will lose because people think that their candidate is safe because they were in the lead.
They
Right?
got so many votes.
We saw this when Richard Harris became mayor of Russellville, right? Like Randy Horton, the former mayor, had more votes going into the runoff.
That's right.
But then his people didn't turn out, felt like he was safe. He probably had it.
Yeah.
And so people showed up to vote for Richard Harris because he's the underdog.
Yeah.
And he wins the election, right? With actually a very tiny percentage of the vote for the whole electorate. But that's just kind of how this system works.
Yeah.
So it's really important for people. And I'm not saying which way you should vote, underdog
Right.
or, so this is Joe Sikowski and Tracy Reinhardt. Joe was the far out, like ahead.
Right.
But, go vote whatever your conscience is on those two candidates. Until then, Jeremy Keister is still the school board president, and that's terrible.
And you don't have the eclipse as an excuse to not vote.
Because that'll be after.
Because it's after. Yeah. So go vote for your school board member. It's an at-large. You don't have to, there's no district or
As long
like
as
it's
you're in
literally
Russellville
any
School District.
registered voter in Russellville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russellville School District, which
Yeah.
is not necessarily just the city
Right.
limits,
Russell
right?
School District. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're like me, you live over in Dardanelle, but your kid goes to Russellville through like school choice, I don't get a vote in it, right? Like that's just the rules. You have to actually live
Yeah.
in the district to be able to vote. But yeah, folks should definitely get out and make their voice heard on that because it is really, really unfortunate when we see decisions made by just such a small percentage of the population. Like no matter how the vote goes, even if it goes the way I want, like that's not representative of the people
For
here.
sure.
You know
because
what I mean?
there's such a small percentage of people that
Right.
vote. And there's such a small percentage of people that vote in like primary and general elections as well.
Right.
And we've talked at length about what are ways that we can increase that. And, one of those is knowledge. The more information there is out there about people that are running for the office, which I think is a great thing that we do in other groups, like the news outlets that try to provide as much information as they can about local races, because that really is the way that we can increase turnout. So, and that's what you get to do for a job. So
I try. So much of that though, it's so unfortunate because like if the presidential election isn't exciting to people, a lot of times people don't show up, and there is nothing.
you mean
less,
like when two octogenarians are running?
there is nothing less exciting than good grandpa versus
Yeah.
bad grandpa.
Yeah.
There is nothing less exciting than that. But if people don't show up and vote in that election, like your Congress people, your state legislators, your county quorum court, your local, like there's so many other races that matter. And
It's so sad that it's usually the top down that is what encourages people to vote, when really, again, we talk about this all the time, the closer it is to you, the more effect it has on your day-to-day life. So like your city council, your county, quorum court, and then state, and like the federal government, what do they do that, like that affects me daily? Again,
a lot, but what
but
can I do about it as an
comparatively,
individual?
That's right. That's what I'm talking
very
about.
little.
Yeah.
Like what I can do about it as an individual is very little. But like, look, if I harass you,
Yeah.
look, I know what I can get done because I've been harassing you for years.
She just won't leave me alone.
Y'all
guys.
wait until you see this new one I just sent him. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be good. We can't talk about it yet, but I've got an ordinance that y'all are gonna like. I sent to him. Y'all like the entertainment district.
The trouble she's gonna get me in over this one thing.
Y'all are gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Trust me.
It's good trouble though.
It's good trouble. It's worth it. All right. I'm done.
Me too. Nobody has any remarks or
Well,
questions?
Debbie did say, doesn't that just apply to the current term? And I'm not sure what she's asking. Is that about Jordan? About the appointment?
I think that's when she said it.
Yes. So it would be an appointment for this term. And then I think it depends on when it's decided, right? So like if a decision is reached before November, before the end of this year, actually, then yes. So this is about Jordan Sauer's residency.
Yeah.
If a judge were to say like she is not a resident and there was an appointment, it would be an appointment to finish out this term through December 31st. And then I think there would have to be a special election.
Right, because like this is about her. It's not about the election she just won. It's about her previous term. Yeah.
It depends on timing though. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's hope that all gets resolved in a quick.
Let's all just live in our districts.
Yeah.
And not play games with our courts.
If
Wouldn't that be crazy? You know what I saw downtown? I saw that there's some new parking put in over by Pasta Grill and some of that. And I thought that was really cool. But then I saw that there's one business particular that's like, do not park here ever. I don't care if it's after hours. I don't care if it's the weekend when we're closed. I don't care if we only ever have 2 cars in our parking lot. Don't you ever park here or we will tow you. And that
And they
is
will too.
very much on brand with Mr. Jim Knight. So
but the entertainment district is potentially going to expand.
That's 'cause it's hot
high
and poppin'.
probability. We are voting on the official expansion of it tomorrow night at the council meeting, and so if it passes, it will include the 500 building, the fire station. It will include everything from Commerce to Arkansas to 3rd Street. So
But why does it not include my house in Dardanelle?
because you don't live within the city limits of Russellville.
That just sounds like bullshit, Nathan.
You want to be annexed? Just apply for
Just
annexation.
Just my one little, just annex. Yeah, that's what I need.
This lot, whatever lot number in Dardanelle.
I
across
secede.
the
I
river.
secede. No, I love it. All right. All right, get me out of
Hey,
here.
thank you guys so much for watching our show. We really appreciate all that you do for us. Please share this video with your friends, and we will see y'all next week.